everyone, David here again from the Self-Sufficient Youth Community. We are an online community based in Canada for like-minded people who are coming together to learn, share, connect, and prosper on journeys towards increased choice, independence, and personal fulfillment. A big part of being more resilient and self-sufficient is having good health and wellness, particularly preventing illness and disease. Once again today, as part of our four-part series, and this is number 4, we're discussing how to use and benefit from the natural healing and energetic properties of Mother Earth. Once again, just delighted to be here chatting with Mario DeFranco, president of Pure Home. Mario, great to see you again.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is number 4 in our series. As I mentioned, the first 3 were on air, water, and electromagnetic frequency protection. And this one may be a little less known for people on earthing. So let's jump right in and tell us a little bit about what earthing is.
Hey, thank you. And what's really cool, Dave, is that when I learned of earthing 7 to 8 years ago, it was the easiest business decision in anything I've done. And we scrutinize everything. Literally in less than 1 minute, I knew I had to get this into the hands of our customers for their health. It clicked for many reasons, which I'll share with you today. So let's dive right into this. I want a couple of goals here. I want earthing to really click home that it's not a treatment. It's natural, it's beautiful, and you'll see what I mean as we go through our talk today. So one of the first goals then is this. Medical researchers have discovered that whether we call it immune system dysfunction or sickness or disease, there's a common denominator. And that word is inflammation. We can now say that the majority of sickness or disease, whatever term we use, is the result of inflammation. So that's one of the goals today, one of the 2 or 3 goals. Sickness is inflammation, okay? So when we talked about water several weeks ago, we used the word acidity. We said avoid drinking acidic water, whether it's reverse osmosis or Brita. Acidity is synonymous with inflammation, okay? Inflammation leads to disease, simple as that. So we just gave an earthing presentation to a group of people last week, and we started the presentation with a very powerful graphic. In this graphic, you saw a curve. And there were 2 lines, 2 sets of data. Sales of rubber sole shoes, starting from 1950 to present day, and the number of people with diabetes. So we logged rubber sole shoe sales in the billions of dollars, up like this, and diabetes, people with diabetes, in the millions. The curves were exactly parallel and almost overlapping to one another.
Well, 100% correlation between the 2, eh?
It was essentially 100% correlation. And I know when you take numeracy courses, correlation does not mean causation, but wake up. To me, this is total causation because I saw a similar curve with cancer and rubber sole shoes. So what is that telling us? When we lose contact with the source of charge, your body becomes sick. Our body is electronic in nature. Get rid of the letters IC. We talked about this previously. And now I'm left with the word electron, which we're going to talk about. So what is chronic inflammation? And how did we start today? Inflammation is sickness. Inflammation is disease. So just picture in your mind a big roaring fire, and in red letters, chronic inflammation. And I actually had this slide, a massive slide that showed a fire with just the words chronic inflammation. Just let that sink in. We got to put out these fires. Chronic inflammation, which we now know is the cause of disease, is simply people being deficient in electrons, negative charge. So get this into our heads. Disease is inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a roaring fire. It's the result of lacking electrons, lacking negative charge. So Dave, if I'm a car salesman and you're calling me for a car, and I show you a nice car, but it's got rust all over it, would you buy that car from me?
Probably not, unless you had one heck of a good deal for me.
The car is rusted out. What's another word for rust or rusting out? There's a word, and it begins with the letter O.
Oxidization, isn't it?
Oxidation. Yes, that car has been oxidized. I'll give you another example. I'm getting tired of selling cars. I want to sell you fresh fruit. I'm going to sell you some apples that have browned out. They're no longer red and green. There's a lot of brown on them. Would you buy them from me, Dave?
From you, absolutely not. No, again, it's probably oxidized from the air, right?
Oxidation. And in this presentation, we had a beautiful slide, an apple slice cut in half. It's turned brown. And then we show an electron into jumping out from this apple. They've been lost to the atmosphere.
Okay, interesting.
That apple, that carbon oxidized, and they are no longer anywhere near as healthy for us as they otherwise would have been. So what is disease? Disease is inflammation. What is inflammation? It is electron deficiency. And this is what medicine isn't telling us. And this is what we have really learned. So that's the goal here. Disease is inflammation. Inflammation is electron deficiency. So let's put 2 and 2 together. Let's get electrons into our body.
But before we do that, Mario, maybe you'll get to this later, I'm not sure, but what's causing us to lose electrons? What is the reason behind that?
Thank you. Previously, we talked about our environment. So when we talked about air and water, Dave, we said that disease, sickness is 90% environmental. So now we can make the correlation. Inflammation is exposure to environmental toxins. And that's why we hammered home in the beginning, you have to reduce your exposure to air and waterborne toxins, to electromagnetic frequencies, to bad sources of food, to less alcohol, don't smoke as much, reduce your stress. These are all factors that cause oxidation in our body. And now we're going to really try to wrap this up. I'm going to put my chemistry teacher hat on just for a minute. In chemistry, we learned that oxidation, by definition, is only 3 words. And I really hope everybody gets this. What is oxidation? It is loss of electrons. So why do people take vitamin C? What's vitamin C? It's an antioxidant. It helps prevent oxidation. So if you take that apple and sprinkle orange juice on it or squish a lemon on it, does it turn brown as fast? No.
Well, yeah, I got lemons. Yeah, it's just like you squirt some lemon juice on an avocado, right? That's probably apples and avocados, great example. I assume, based on what you said, it's because they're adding electrons back to, in this case, the apple or the avocado.
They're antioxidant.
Yeah.
Lots of minerals. They prevent electrons from leaving. They prevent oxidation. They have prevented the decay of that food. So it's healthier for us. So in chemistry, when something loses electrons, it's been oxidized. And if I give you $5, you're +5, and we talked about this before, I'm -5. There has to be a natural accounting. So if something loses electrons, what does that mean, David? Something else had to gain them. All right, so in chemistry then, the opposite of oxidation is reduction. We use the word antioxidation. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. The proper word is reducing agent. Why? When something loses electrons, something else picked them up. What we want to reduce is the positive charge, the positive free radicals in your body that's causing the inflammation. And that's why we use the word reducing agent. So it's kind of simple. If I go have a bath or a shower or go swim in the lake and I come out all wet and I want to dry myself off, I'm wet, I want to become dry, I got to get a drying agent, I get a towel. So as I dry off, what happens to the towel? It becomes wet. Same thing. I get reducing agents that supply electrons, and that's beautiful for us. Okay, so when something's oxidized, it loses electrons, and something else has to pick them up.
It's a transfer. There's a
Yes.
transfer of I don't know what the proper term is, but
Electrons.
charge, I guess,
Electrons are
right?
moved.
And it always has to be 100%. And if it's not the right ones, then something negative is probably going to fill its space, and that's the inflammation, right?
Amen. So when inflammation is in us, that's because we have lost electrons, whether it's from environmental toxins, being lazy, not exercising, being stressed, bad food, all these things, a million things that contribute to our cups overflowing. I get sick. What that means is I have to reduce inflammation in my body.
And if someone just, listening to this, just thinks about for a second kind of their average day, whether it's a weekend or a work day, think of the air that they breathe inside their home and outdoors, maybe the water that they drank or used in their coffee or tea. Maybe it was the stress about not getting a good night's sleep or thinking about that presentation they have to do at the office this week. So you have environmental factors, you have stress. Maybe they, didn't have the greatest breakfast because they had to run out the door to drop their kids off of school. So, everyone, particularly in, the developed world and probably everywhere around the world, are starting from a deficiency perspective each and every day, and probably adding to it as the day goes on, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, let's take responsibility for our own health and just keep hammering this home. Think of inflammation as sickness. Just very briefly, I'm just going to talk about the body and inflammation. So if there's inflammation in the brain, what does that mean? How does that manifest itself? Well, that could be why somebody has depression. That could be why somebody is autistic. That could be why somebody has poor memory. Alzheimer's. This is all inflammation in the brain. Kidneys. That's when you see acne, eczema, psoriasis, the skin conditions, wrinkles, rashes. That means our kidneys are suffering from inflammation. So when somebody comes in, I got eczema, I want a water softener. No, time out. You've got autoimmune, you've got inflammation. It's not what's going on in your body, it's what goes in your body. You need electrons. You need to reduce the positive free radicals in your body. And that's when we say you desperately need to be grounded. You need to be earthed, which we're going to show you a demonstration in a few minutes. If somebody has inflammation in the bones, that's when you get osteoporosis, you get fractures. It goes on and on. The liver, somebody's the amount of toxins in their body is high from a blood analysis. Their livers are inflamed. They're not their livers, their liver, right? Lungs, asthma, allergies. So these are all things, even muscles, polymyalgia, fibromyalgia. We were just talking with somebody yesterday who was really suffering with fibromyalgia. They came in for water and we're going to help them with that. But hey, you got to look at this. And we did the inflammation test, which I'm going to show you shortly. Cancer is inflammation. Okay, so cardiovascular disease, joint pain, autoimmune, this is all inflammation. So this is what we're going to fight. So picture that roaring fire, that red flame, chronic inflammation. We want to fight it, right? And now we talk about how to fight that. And the answer, of course, is eat better, try to get antioxidants in, but we're going to give you something better than an antioxidant, vitamin C. It's called earthing. It's God's plan for us. It's absolutely beautiful. So what is grounding? What is earthing? And in your home, you have to have an electrical system that is grounded. And that third hole, not the two slits, that third hole is a copper wire that connects to the earth. So it goes throughout your entire home. It connects to the earth. So if your home gets hit by lightning, or you plug in a drill or something else electrical, and if the wires touch, that surcharge goes back to the earth so that we don't get electrocuted. So our homes are grounded. It's a way for charge to travel back to the earth if necessary. Okay. Well, what about people? How do we ground people? And you touch the ground. How simple is that? And we're going to talk about this. We're going to show you a demonstration just in about 2 minutes. Earthing then is the process by which, and now we're not talking about your homes or your tools, we're talking about us. It's the process by which you touch planet Earth directly or indirectly so that electrons flow into our body. David, do you remember what loss of electrons, what we call that again?
Antioxidants.
We want antioxidants.
Oxidation.
Yes. So we prevent oxidation, we prevent inflammation, which is the cause of disease, when we are gaining electrons. You gain electrons from being in contact with the earth, directly or indirectly, and we're going to show you how to do that. Okay.
Well, you're kind of blowing my mind here, Mario. So, and you're doing that because you're making this really clear and really simple. So, you used your home as an example, or any kind of electrical circuit that everyone's familiar with. There's a positive, there's a negative. And if there's a imbalance in the charge, that's what the grounding wire is for. And you use the example of, a lightning strike or a power surge, right? So the ground tries to restore, keep the power flow between positive and negative in equilibrium. So that we all understand that. So what's very interesting is, as humans, like you said, we are electrical by nature. We have electrical charges. So our bodies are always trying to be in balance between positive and negative. And when, as you're saying, because of external factors and the way we eat and the stress, that balance becomes, unbalanced. And how do we don't have a copper wire coming out of us that we can shove in the ground. I guess we are the copper wire by standing on the ground to ground ourselves, to return us back to balance. And we do that by receiving the charges from the earth, right? And it's
absolutely.
And the way you explained it, for me, it just makes a lot of sense. It's just so clear, because we often forget that we are electrical as well, right?
It's
so very
simple.
interesting the way you put it.
If you have a condition, and I don't like labels, whether we say Alzheimer's, allergies, arthritis, jet lag, blood pressure, mood, sleep, fatigue, fibromyalgia, MS, pain, these are all signs of inflammation. Okay, so think of that red fire, chronic inflammation. The answer to get rid of that, to get rid of this, is get electrons in your body. And that's God's gift to us, is earthing or grounding. Okay, so maybe then this is a good time. I'm going to show you, I'll do my best here. I have a voltmeter. Okay. You're going to see the voltmeter here. And now I'm touching one end red, and then the other end black is in a power bar here.
Okay.
And do you see the reading, Dave? Because I cannot, so I need your help.
Yeah, you're I'm assuming that because it went from 0 to now it's 0.61, that you're emitting some kind of electrical charge.
So it's not that I'm emitting. So what I'm measuring is my body voltage.
Okay.
Which is potential energy, which means inflammation. I'm supposed to be at 0 volts. I'm on a laminate floor right now. I got rubber soled shoes, and I'm near a computer, and there's a power bar right over here that I'm pointing to. Okay.
You're oscillating between 0.6 and 0.8.
Okay, Dave, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the table behind me. And can you read the voltage?
Yeah, now it's 1.99, so you're about 2, yeah.
I'm a 2-volt battery. This is raging inflammation. all because I'm touching a metal table or I'm near a metal table that has a power bar on it. How many of us have a desk and you're at a desk right now and there's a power bar right by our feet? That's my home setup. And this is the majority of our new set of workers that don't go into work. They're working from home and their feet are power bar. This is raging inflammation. And what is inflammation? Inflammation is disease. Okay, now, here is a grounding mat. So hopefully you can see it. See, there's a black mat behind me.
Yeah, it looks just like a regular desk pad that many people have on their desk.
Yeah, and probably what you can't see, which I'll explain, is there's no magic. It's a conductive carbon-based mat. It's called an earthing mat. And it's connected with a copper cord to the Earth's ground, that third hole in an outlet. And now I'm going to put my hand on it, Dave, and can you see what the reading is?
Wow, it basically it's 0.02, so almost nothing.
0 volts. So what have I done? I have grounded myself, and now what is flowing into my body? Electrons. When you gain electrons, that is reduction, that is antioxidation, that is the reduction of positive free radicals that cause inflammation. What is inflammation? Inflammation is disease. So what am I doing right now? I am fighting disease while I'm having a beautiful conversation with you. I might as well multitask and fight disease. Why not?
You just plugged yourself in. You're recharging yourself, basically, right?
Yes, and I'm going to go through some research with everybody, and it's going to be a bit of an eye-opener. But this is the actual demonstration we do here in our showroom to show people, well, in this case, electricity causes inflammation.
And I love the fact that you have I always love the fact that you have a measuring device, and it's just not trusting what you say, but you can't dispute the tool and the readings on it, the before and after. So it just proves that it works.
Okay, I am now ungrounded, and what's the reading at?
You're back up to 0.77, 0.76.
Right, and again, let's say I shift while I'm doing work, and I'm touching now the desk that I'm working on, and what's my reading?
1.96.
Yeah, I'm a 2-volt battery. That's raging inflammation, not good.
Wow, and we're all familiar with 9-volt batteries, so 2-volt doesn't seem that far away from 9-volt.
Well, I have seen that, and that was when we had a laptop on somebody. Don't put a laptop on your laps. No way. So I'll go through just a couple of things, some medical research, and then I'll talk about earthing, and we'll quickly talk about outside, inside. I'll share some really cool testimonials with you that blew us away, okay? Sorry, I got to keep drinking water. Water that's full of charge, right? We got to keep charge in our bodies. Earthing has been with us forever. And so when we say, I'll mention Clint Ober, he was the founder of earthing. He didn't create it. Clint Ober lived in Arizona, and in the 80s, his business was setting up cable companies. Back then, cable was the big thing, and medical equipment, and everything had to be grounded. Well, he was watching a marathon, and the people were grimacing in pain because they had rubber-soled shoes, and he saw some barefoot runners that weren't grimacing in pain. Pain is inflammation. It's the beginning of disease. And that was the beginning of earthing products. So it's a timeless practice. It's a way to recharge the body with electrons. It prevents inflammation. And what is inflammation? It's disease. Okay. I'm going to show you a picture of blood work. This is called dark field microscopy. Okay, and I'm going to just go like this. So, Dave, if I asked you, do you want this blood or this blood in your body? Do you have a question?
I'm going to say I'm probably going to choose the post-earthing one. And the reason is I probably want my blood cells to not be all stuck together. I want a good flow. It's almost like a river, right? You want good flow, not a lot of roadblocks. So if I look at the pre-earthing, I see almost clotting, I suppose, is what that is.
Thank you. Now, this was easier in my presentation because they didn't see post and pre-earthing. And I said, which blood would you like? Well, we want the free-flowing one. Okay, this is the same person. The only difference is 40 minutes of grounding. So what happened? Blood cells are cupped like a bowl, and we stack our bowls in our cupboards. When you start suffering inflammation, your blood is curdled, and now these blood cells in the middle, they can't bring oxygen to your cells, they can't bring nutrients in, they can't detoxify. So earthing brings electrons into the body. So if this blood cell and this blood cell are stuck together, which they are, and I'm going to show you research, how do I unstuck them? I'm kind of being funny how I talk now. Did you ever try sticking two north poles of a magnet together and then you feel
Yeah, very unsuccessfully. A lot of frustration there.
they bounce off each other?
Yeah.
Negative charge from planet Earth, negative charge from planet Earth, like charges repel. My blood cells split in free flow. I'm in. I want free flowing blood to get nutrients into my cells, toxins out. I've had this dark field microscopy done live, and the doctor said it was the best blood he has seen in a long time. And I'm like you, man. My genetics, we all have the same blood cells, except I'm grounded when I sleep. I'm grounded at work. My blood is free flowing.
It's almost like a bit like you're, being on a highway, congested highway, right? And you're in rush hour traffic and you're trying to get home from work. Obviously, if your car are blood cells, it's going to take you a lot longer to get from point A to B. And which means that, like you said, they're not transferring oxygen. You're suffering from maybe being tired, lack of nutrients. Though the freer flowing your blood is, the more efficient it's going to be.
And now what have we done? We're reducing inflammation. What's inflammation? It's disease. How simple is this? It's beautiful. I can show you other pictures of, I'll just quickly show you this one. This was a soccer injury. And you can see within 1 hour of grounding what's happened to their knees. The inflammation has greatly been reduced. Okay? We have pictures of facial structure, people being grounded, and you can see the blood flow in the face. That's healing, that's anti-aging, that's wrinkle reduction. We have the body scans. You can see literally, I'll just look over here so I don't misquote this, a 2 degrees Celsius difference from a grounded person in a knot and somebody not. The person not grounded, their gut was at 28 degrees Celsius. The same person grounded over 30. Which person is going to digest their food better and circulate the nutrients and detoxify? The person who's grounded. Heart rate variability is the most accurate predictor of sudden death. So you saw the free-flowing blood, Dave? I'm just going to share 2 quick studies. Just like we measured inflammation, you can measure a person's electron voltage in your blood. 15 is the maximum electron volts. In the study, the people before earthing, their average was under 5 electron volts, which scared the cardiologists that were in this study. After an hour of grounding, the average reading was 14.7 electron volts. That's incredible. This is tying into heart rate variability. When you kind of do a stress test at a cardiologist or a doctor, they make you exercise. They want to see your heart rate from here just drop back to normal within 6 minutes. If it does not, your heart rate variability is not good. And we know there's something wrong somewhere, whether it's a clogged blood vessels or not. Earthing increased heart rate variability by over 250%. That means it gets us out of that pickle. It reduces problems. And twice I've rushed to a hospital to help a family member, right? I had a dear uncle who we thought we were going to lose him right then and there. Major heart condition. Brought the earthing mat, which we tested behind me. Within 10 to 15 minutes of just him putting his hands on the earthing mat, he said, "Hey, I feel warmer." Best thing he could have said. That means blood is flowing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if his life was saved that day, but we had him for many more years after that moment, which I'm so thankful for. Likewise, too, when you do these studies on blood sugars, it was a 1 week sample with the two control groups, and the average blood reading dropped from 10. So obviously these are people with a bit of a glucose issue, down to 7.5. It is very regulating, and that's another word for earthing. It is very regulating, from blood pressure, from oxygen levels to sugars. It's absolutely incredible.
Again, it's
So
like the power in your home, when it's properly flowing, the lights work, your appliances work, there's no problems. But if you're constantly getting power outages and spikes, you get the ups and the downs, it's totally inefficient, and you suffer the symptoms of that. I guess it's the same thing with your body, right? You're always trying to achieve a consistent, healthy, regular flow, and blood flow is a big part of that, and the electrical flow too. So when there's imbalances in the flow, this is exactly like you're saying, you're suffering the consequences of that, and it's showing up in all kinds of symptoms from inflammation. And it's really, think about how inflammation and a lot of the diseases that you mentioned are treated today, from Alzheimer's to rheumatoid arthritis to cancer. Obviously, often it's a lotion, it's a cream, it's some kind of topical treatment, or it's not the root cause, right?
it's not the root cause.
This is a root cause kind of strategy. We're going in and trying to rebalance and return your body to proper flow to reduce the inflammation, which reduces the disease.
You got it. Inflammation is disease, which is electron deficiency. How do we get electrons? Well, we can start doing those good things, avoiding the environmental triggers, and get electrons into your body by grounding. So when you're outside, how do you ground yourself? Well, touch the grass, touch the sand, touch the dirt. Trees, I've tested all this. If you're a tree hugger, I know that sounds funny, but if you lean on a tree and you stretch on a tree, electrons are flowing into your body.
So where do they come from? Just standing on the grass or touching something in nature like a tree? How does that work?
We're conductive natures, and these are conductive products, and the earth is full of charge. So when you got positive free radicals in your body, positive draws negative, electrons flow into our body to reduce those free radicals that cause inflammation. Anti-inflammatory. Simple.
It's almost like a natural detoxification.
It is
pulling out the negative and returning the positive, right?
So the positives are just getting neutralized. Positives don't flow, only negative charges flow. So let's keep getting the electrons in the body to supplement. So we can call it vitamin E, vitamin electron. We got to keep putting vitamin E in our body, these electrons in our body, by continuously grounding and reducing our exposures to toxins. If you're going to stand on asphalt, you're not grounded. Asphalt's petroleum. If you stand on unsealed concrete, concrete is mineral-based, it's natural, you're probably grounded. So now the question is, how do we get vitamin E electrons in our body while we're in our homes and we're on a plastic floor or in a bed?
And everyone's probably thinking now about the last time they actually touched the earth. It's probably a long time, because everyone wears shoes and sandals and boots, and whether you're outside or inside. I mean, when's the last time you walked around in bare feet? And it's probably been a long time.
It has. So the more you do that, the better. Everybody has to go to bed. Everybody has to come inside at some point. And this is where our lives have changed. This is where, again, in less than 1 minute, I knew I had to get earthing to our customers. And my life changed at that point. As soon as we started grounding ourselves, I would have been 47, 48 years old. My wife is about 4.5 years younger than me. Well, we didn't have children, and we would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. The pain started to disappear. And we're not bodybuilders. No, we just want to exercise and get cardio in. Hey, the pain from the gym is greatly dissipated. This is incredible. We were able to go to the gym 4 times a week. Before we couldn't, because our bodies needed time to recover. And there is research, recovery rates greatly plummet. If people were to search Tour de France, which is very grueling, and earthing, they're going to see some astounding research. And then something beautiful in my life happened, Dave. After 15 years of never being able to conceive, we had a baby girl. The only difference was we were grounded. We've now had at least 6 customers who couldn't get pregnant become pregnant. And this is cool because we were part of that 60 to 70% group where all the testing was normal, but we don't know why you can't get pregnant. Well, now I know, because there's inflammation and we lack charge. And that's what caused the infertility. Simple. So I'll share a few other stories with you, and I'll show you a couple of simple things. This is an earthing mat that you can see. This is what's on the desk behind me. So now that I'm touching it, I'm grounded. And you can't see it, but there is a little pin right here that you connect to. No magic. This is conductive, made with the material carbon that's been on the planet. We use copper, another earth-made material, to connect to the Earth's ground in an outlet. Now
So basically, you put that on your desk or wherever you like, but probably on the desk. And there's a wire that you have to install to a copper wire to an outlet nearby to ground it.
Amen.
Okay.
And now I can put it below my feet. If I want to work at a desk, you can put it at your favorite spot to sit and watch a movie or read, and now you're grounded. Stop chronic inflammation while you're reading, or like do it while you're sleeping or enjoying the movie. And now what are you doing? You're preventing disease. You're preventing inflammation.
Now, what if you had 2 of those, one on your desk because you're leaning your hands and your arm, and one on the floor for your feet? Would that be overkill, or would that be beneficial?
Dave, I can share some stories with you. We call this double grounding. And when you double ground, we have literally seen arthritic knuckles shrink in my own family. And it's not just my own family. So when people sleep grounded and then they add, this is a band. There used to be different bands. This here you can see again the clip.
Yeah.
There's conductive material in here. You can put this on a knee, an arm, a quad, or you just hold it while you're watching the movie.
Now, do you have to plug that in? Do you have to attach that to something somehow?
Absolutely. There's no magic. Conductive material that connects to the earth. So now you're grounded in your own home. Electrons now flow into your body. And when you gain electrons, what's that called? It's called reduction. We're reducing the positive free radicals that cause inflammation. We're reducing sickness.
So how does that work? Do you have to plug in is probably not the best term, but you have to connect that? Again, connect it to the ground on your outlet?
Yeah, you connect to the Earth's ground, and the cords give you about 15 to 18 feet.
Okay.
Here's just these are the earthing cords, and you can see that they can stretch.
Okay,
and they're
good.
Designed with the proper terminal to go into the outlet, and then the other end that connects to the earthing mat or pillow cover, whatever we're talking about. I'll just show you a couple of things. This is cool. And actually, look what I'm wearing. Do you see it?
Oh, so it's almost like an EKG patch, right?
Yes. I damaged my shoulder doing something in the warehouse here. So guess what I did the last 3 nights in bed? I connected, so my bed's grounded, and now I connected to my shoulder to really get electrons, which are anti-inflammatory, to get blood flow, which is healing. And my shoulder today is the best it's been easily in those 3 days. So healing.
That would be perfect for a very specific injury or a source of pain, whether like tennis elbow or
sciatica.
What's the one in the shoulder? Sciatica is another one. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
It's awesome. It's beautiful. I'm going to share a story that's very close to my heart. When I always think of my mom, who has since passed. This is a It's very thin. So unlike the universal mat, which is thick and durable because it could be on our feet, this is a pillow cover. Okay. And there's a zipper and the connections inside the zipper. Okay. So when my mom was 86, she had some minor heart failure. Her blood sugars went to over 20. She got really weak. Like if you just heard it in her voice, we had to always walk her back and forth down the hallway. And she was already grounded. And I suspect it saved her life at this point, Dave. Then I said, Mom, we're going to ground your pillow. And at that point, I grounded her pillow. Something beautiful happened during this time, Mom. We had to cancel her ophthalmologist appointment because my mom was going, and the ophthalmologist would take a syringe, go through the white of her eye to inject medicine in her retina, in front of her retina, because she had diabetic retinopathy. We canceled the ophthalmologist. My mom was too weak. Finally, 7 months later, we get her to the ophthalmologist, and they called me, and I got ready to write down when her next injections were because she missed the previous injection and her sugars went to 20. Mario, your mom's eyes have healed at 86 with minor heart failure because the electrons were coming from a pillow cover 3 to 4 inches from her eye. I saw the scans. She had no holes, no cysts in her retina. She went 2 years without needing an injection.
Wow.
That was amazing. That was one of the greatest moments of my life, actually, because here I was able to help my own mom. Yeah, that was incredible. There's so many stories. It's phenomenal. Here's a larger mat. I won't open it up, but this can fit a queen size bed, king, single, dual. Why not re-energize your body when you're going to bed? I didn't go through all the testing, but in testing people, nurses, massage therapists, because they're really prone to a lot of disease and sickness, we realized the absolute minimum is 30 minutes a day. But if you can sleep grounded, it looks like your blood free flows for 5 to 7 days.
So you can't get too much. I mean, is there a limit? You can't overdose kind of thing on getting too much electrical charge, right?
Opposites attract. If I have no positive free radicals in my body, then nothing is really causing the electrons to flow in.
Okay.
This is so beautiful. It's natural. It's not man-made. All we did was we just tie into the Earth's free charge. I don't need to always buy $30 of vitamin C a month, which, that is a good thing. But I got this free supply of electrons that are supposed to go in my body through my feet or wherever. The last thing I'll just show, this is a cotton material. This is a pillow cover with silver strands in it. So this product just came out about 9 to 10 months ago. And when you're grounded on your bed, the moisture from your body wicks through the cotton sheet. And now I've got a nice way to conduct electrons into my body. To kick it up a notch, if you've got something with silver in it, silver is conductive. Electrons will flow a little bit better into your body. And I noticed that really, oh my gosh, you love going to bed. It's the best feeling in the world. I noticed that it was incredible. So these are the ways to ground yourself indoors now.
So you can get some free grounding just by taking your shoes off and walking around the park or in your front or backyard. And hopefully most people watching this do that more often, but that's probably not enough. So let's get into some of I'm sure everyone's curious about how much the products that you've showed today. Let's kind of go through what the cost is, maybe starting with the mat. How much can someone expect to pay for that?
Yeah, thank you. So the earthing products start in the $40 range. So the earthing mat, the body bands are in the $40 range. And again, if any of the self-sufficient you people use their code SSU, all in capitals, they get a discount. Patches are $19 for 30 of them. Cords are normally around $20. So every earthing product, there's no magic, has to have a cord. Okay. And it's interesting. What we did was we kept the earthing packages going. Years ago, one of the ways to order earthing was packages, and we got a bit of a discount. And now earthing is all ordered individually by us, but we kept the packages alive. So if somebody gets like a sleep package, they save about $60. That includes a sleep mat. So let's say you have a queen size bed, Dave. You can get a queen sleep size grounding mat with 2 pillows, 2 pillow covers, the 3 cords. You would get an outlet checker, and when the 2 orange lights go on, and it tells you right on it, sorry, it shows that it's actually correct. Your outlet's properly grounded. You get a splitter. 1 hole becomes 2 if we're short the ground hole.
Yep.
And you save about $60. They start in the $300 range. Pillow covers are about $140. Sheet sets that you get if you want that silver cotton set, it's awesome. It's less expensive than a high quality sheet set at the Bay. They start in the $200 range for your 2 pillow covers, the fitted sheet, and the top sheet even. And now it's like you've been cocooned with charge, which is it's the best feeling.
So everything you have is quite affordable. I mean,
yes,
$20, $40 in the $100, $200 range. That's I think that fits within the various budgets of most people. Yeah, this is very affordable for many people, and I'm assuming that like other products you have, these ones, I guess you buy it once as well, right? There's no need to replace them. They just last forever. Right? There's no need to, I mean, the life expectancy on these are,
yeah, thank you.
Forever, right?
There's always wear and tear. So
Yeah. Okay.
now we're into they're not setting any other dealers up in Canada. So having said that, we've been with them 7 years, and we're into 3rd or 4th generation sleep mats. So they're constantly improving, and now 5 years is probably the minimum life expectancy of something that you always sleep on, or I would say universal mat. But man, if I got 4 years out of a $40 universal mat, how much does a bottle of vitamin C cost?
Well, how much do, just like you said, a typical set of sheets last that aren't giving you any benefit? Maybe they feel nice, but they're not giving you any positive health benefits whatsoever. You can easily spend $300-400 on some sheets. So every couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. And Dave, if you don't mind, if I can just before we part ways, just I always like to finish with what our customers experience. And so the first testimonial we started getting right away was, hey, I'm sleeping way better. And this is cool because that's restorative. And if you sleep better, you tend to have REM dreams. I'm sleeping better, I'm getting dreams. We started then having people come in and saying their joints weren't as sore. We've had at least one customer cancel knee surgery. His range of motion has not increased, but he is walking without pain. A couple of weeks ago, one of our most recent customers, in 6 days of sleeping grounded, is walking without a cane. That's been phenomenal. People have told us they've had better mobility. One of our customers' parents, their whole family are customers, water, and she had cancer. She had breast cancer. So I told the children, you know what, like, please, for your mom, let's get her grounded. So we did it for the cancer. And she came into the store a month later and she said, Mario, I can bend over and tie my shoes. She couldn't do that in the last few years. We did it just to prevent inflammation, which causes disease. We know cancer is inflammation, right? She can now bend over and tie her shoes. And she said, Mario, I don't get dizzy and fall. Right. And I thought, oh man, this is phenomenal. Definitely people have told us their stress levels have plummeted. We had a lady yesterday who's been through every cancer treatment, and the earthing has changed her life. She looked amazing yesterday. It was so awesome to see that. Mental clarity, we get this a lot. One of our young moms was really suffering, Shannon, and we grounded her bed. We did a little bit of EMF protection. By the end of that month, she said, "I can't believe my recall. My kids cannot believe the difference in me." She was doing so much more with her young kids. We've had people tell us of a rapid recovery from injuries, surgery. We've had even people send in photos, neuropathy from chemo, right? From having cancer, they lose that feeling in their hands and feet because of bad blood circulation. And one of the slides in our presentation showed a before and after. Their blood circulation was so bad in their foot, the image, you don't even see their toes. There was no blood flow. And then after grounding, you see the beautiful warmth and you saw all the toes. That was cool. In my case, we saw less pain, our sleep's improved, and we were blessed with a beautiful daughter, all because of earthing. Here's a couple of, maybe just two more I'll share with you. We had one young lady trying to graduate, and she was struggling. She was getting migraines every day. So she was drinking Brita water, which is acidic. What's acidity? It's inflammation. Inflammation isn't good. We switched her to the Aquaspace carafe, not a big expense. We grounded her bed, and her migraines were gone in less than 2 days. And one that I really love, it's close to my heart. The parents of a 3-month-old boy, and they already had our water. Like his heart rate was in the 200s, and he was fidgety. He wasn't a happy baby, and the doctors wanted to put him on beta blockers, and that scared me. I remember my daughter as a 3-month-old, right? This beautiful little creation, and so I suggested, can we ground the crib and maybe ground one other area where your child maybe is laying down and sleeping, and we did that, and the behaviors changed. Heart rate normalized, and that was 1.5 years ago. And speaking to them about 3 months ago, their baby boy is a beautiful, healthy, normal boy. No signs of any issues with heart rate problems at all, right? And I'm thinking, phenomenal, right? They spent $200. Amazing. Earthing is phenomenal. Of all the things we have offered, of the 4 modalities, this has had the most profound effects. I shake my head. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it sounds like earthing, from what you said, like you said, out of the 4, this one probably has the most direct, quickest benefits, right? I just think of the products that you've shown us today, and how everyone can benefit. And I'm thinking, like, from the desk mat. I mean, a lot of us sit at a desk Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, in front of a box that radiates EMF, so some kind of a pendant that protects you with, like, the Vitaplex and other things we've talked about. The bed sheets, the pillows. I'm thinking of, we all probably know of maybe some parents or grandparents who suffer from inflammation or other diseases, who could probably really benefit from maybe a patch, or the bed sheets as well, or the pillow. I can just think of everyone probably needing, first of all, and wanting some of these products. And if you can't go outside and just take your shoes off on a regular basis, then, and these products sound like they're very, very affordable. And from the demonstration you've shown with the measuring device, work. And then, of course, I think of the 4 conversations that we've had, and just imagine, because people are always struggle with, yeah, but what can I do? From cleaning the particles from your home with an air purifier that shoots out ions, from water, to drinking clean water that is positively structured, to protecting yourself and your home from EMF. And now with the earthing, that's probably new for most people, but I think for me, just one of the more powerful conversations we had in terms of a healing, this can be a healing device, and something that is not expensive. You wrap up all those 4 modalities that we've talked about, and just can imagine the the massive health benefits that could be achieved by so many people, whether you're sick or not, or maybe you don't realize that you're ill, or even if you are healthy, but like you said today, maybe I suffered a sports injury, maybe I hurt my knee or, have tennis elbow or whatever, even just a patch can be very beneficial in healing something very quickly. And you avoid the traditional treatments of prescription medication or lengthy physio. I just hope and wish that more people are aware of earthing, particularly, and take advantage of it, and how it could be a really inexpensive and very beneficial way of just increasing overall health.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful summary. Thank you. I just think of the presentation we just gave, and again, we showed a lot of the common sicknesses or conditions of inflammation. And then at the end of the presentation, we showed the exact same slide, but we showed the earthing products, because all those conditions are conditions that we have a lot of testimonials on. So yes, there are testimonials from ALS, from autism, from Alzheimer's sufferers. Earthing has helped them. It's so simple, it's beautiful. And again, if we were to summarize all of this, it's sickness, bad health is inflammation. Inflammation is electron deficiency. Let's get electrons into our body to get rid of that big roaring fire of inflammation, and then we start to heal. It's phenomenal, simple and phenomenal.
Mario, I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing for the community, not just our community, Self-Sufficient You, but the clients that you serve, and the products that you offer, and the manner in which you care about your clients and the partners that you choose to work with. It's really refreshing, and we're just so grateful and thankful to have you, and so happy to be able to share your story and the excellent work that you and your team at Pure Home do. It's really one of those stories that need to be shared widely. Just knowing that there are alternatives out there to traditional conventional medicine, and a lot of it starts with taking a more natural approach, just a healthy water, air, protecting ourselves from EMF, and today we learned about earthing. So this is the end of our 4-part series. It's been unbelievably eye-opening for me, and likely for everyone who's watched the videos, and I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for doing this. Hope to do something again in the future.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.